All right, and that is Nyashinski with his latest hit, Malaika. And that is our song of the week. And I know many of us have probably had that song. If you haven't, there you go. And just now coming to the panel on your thoughts on Nyashinski, a reloaded Nyashinski, this time being a bit more mushy than usual.
I saw you dance. I saw you dance.
Is the silence a result of how the song imekuingia paka? Mazee words zimekataa.
Solo was dancing so.
Solo dance.
Can you imagine Solo dancing to a song like that?
Take it off, Solo.
Solo, take it away.
Yes.
Well,
maybe he was testing how to dance when he becomes an independent. You don't know there's politics. Last mode you could dance. Anyway, Solo.
Once a good writer, always a good writer. It almost leaves me wondering what he had been doing in the States for all that time, because he did not release any songs, and soon as he came back, we started calling him the comeback king and stuff like that. I don't know what he had been up to, but wow, that's a beautiful song. I must say, this is another song that we'll definitely hear a lot throughout this period to December in weddings. This one is for sure, and it's a good taste. It's better change from "Will you marry me?" "I will marry you." This is something poetic.
It's actually a song.
It's something very deep. Exactly. It's quite sentimental. Yeah. So even the ladies could not react immediately because I think it changed a few things.
It was still body
anatomy. Yeah, but kudos to this one. It's a good thing, and maybe I just digress a little bit and say that when he was releasing this song, he released another song as well. He did a soft side on him, and he also did the bad boy that we know Nyashinski is. So kudos to this one. This one is definitely a spin it for me.
All right, a spin it for you now.
Okay. What I love about Nyash, and I'm really trying my best not to
contain yourself.
No, to shrub. Because
it's not, but maybe it depends on where.
Yes, where I come from. So what I like about Nyash, did I say it right?
All you have to do is do it slowly.
Nyash is the fact that he can sing, he can rap, he can write. Do I love this song? Yes. What do I love about it? It's the fact that we are able to see a softer side of a man who is used to, releasing diss tracks and all. So I think there is hope. So even the guys like Kina Octopizzo, you never know. Or Kina Calligraph, you never know. There is hope. Yes. However, I love this song, but I still feel like there could have been more in the video. This, and I were just saying that maybe we needed somebody to dance, ballet. And I love the simplicity of it. I love that it's really a genuine love story. But I wish the video was a bit more sophisticated. Yeah, maybe. But I'm still going to spin it.
You'd still spin it?
I'll still spin it.
But the video is where you're kind of...
Yeah, I wanted something like a wedding or, the heartbreak. Somebody
like a soap opera thing,
wait. I'm not done. No, wait. No. Like the point where, they are like falling apart or they are kind of disagreeing with the man. I expected a mark to be smashed. I mean, dramas. Yes.
You're soap opera. I think you're right. You're my India Mexico. I think vile wangefanya tu wangeka tu your India Mexico hapo. You have to define it. Anyway, Adhiambo, your thoughts on the song?
I'll probably be the devil's advocate in this. Mostly not because I have anything against overhyped songs, but because I expect.
You think it's overhyped?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is interesting. Let me hear this one. Let me hear this one.
No, quite honestly, Mike. Nyashinski, of course, generally it is expected, a lot, of course, is expected of him. As a good writer, it's expected of him. As a good vocalist, it's expected of him. As so many things, and especially because he's changing his genre right now. He's decided that now he wants to go R&B. Now, the day you decide that you want to go R&B, the standards of R&B anywhere in the world, and especially when you want to match them, are way up there. So for me, this one was just another normal, well, okay, but then his target market likes it. So it's really not about me.
So what's missing in the song? When you say R&B is up there, what is missing in that particular song?
I didn't find... no. It's as in, for me, ni ile song tu kawaida nitaweka nisikie. Sio yenye ninaenda goosebumps zile za niko na mao mingi. Waona? Yes. Yeah. Yes. So for me, ni kitu ya kawaida tu. Na ni kawaida because I actually expect that of Nyashinski. And if you're changing genres, then something needs to have been some X factor, some spice, something like, you know the way like Professor Utonium when they're making Powerpuff Girls. Yeah, that one. Yeah.
All right. I guess many might differ with you because I mean, from the time it was released till now, I mean, it's got 100.
Those are influencers. It's all right.
Yeah, but that's the
So,
that's
so it is okay.
All right. Now we introduce Eric.
Yes. Very morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Eric. Good morning.
Sorry, I was running a bit late. What my sentiments about Nyashinski's song.
I'm not alone. I'm not alone in this.
Nasinski.
It's okay even to call him Nasinski.
I feel, because we've known him for a long time as a rapper, and this genre of hip-hop is a beautiful combination that we see is a very well-balanced artist. You know, because people are very fixated on their lane. Mimi nafanyaga nyatingle and I do nothing else.
Yeah.
So that he could sing very well. Personally, I've watched it through and through and through and through, and I respect him as an artist. Not only because he's been out of the market for 10 years and he's come back and he's making waves. We've seen people like Bamboo try do it. You know, that just speaks to the maverick that Nyashinski is. So I love it. Absolutely.
You love the song. Okay, for me, I'd honestly say I love the song. The video, I agree with you that it could have, you know,
Been
had
better,
a bit more.
yeah.
But I love the quality of the song. I love the sound. I love the feeling. I love the quality of the video as well. But yeah, maybe kama wangeka tu kaunga hapo ama kaunga.
Sasa unga imetoka
But you guys have to realize, ukiweka binadamu alale flat na umtembelee, bado mtu atasema, unajua hapa kwa
You need to
kisigino
be
yako.
flat, yeah.
Hii pati ya
A little
kisigino
flat,
sipendi.
yeah.
Juu sasa nikikutembelea nateremka tena.
Yeah.
Jaribu kujifunza ukue flat vizuri. So you know, it's my feelings are he's done exceptionally well. And bear in mind, this is the fourth song since
This is
he's
the
been
fourth
back?
one.
Hit.
This is the fourth
Hit
hit.
song.
Hit.
So
hit.
if he's going to do another
Hit after
6th,
hit.
7th, 8th, then we just, you know,
Right,
despise
he's
It's been
it.
nice
working
album.
on his album, and
Yeah.
his
Wow.
album is gonna be
Ah,
dope.
it's
Because
gonna be
it's not even the sixth; it's almost the sixth song.
All right. All right. And as we do that, we've also got our sister radio station, Radio Maisha, who also have a somewhat new addition, and we'd like to cross over to Radio Maisha, where we have Nico Dhiambo and Mwakideu basically doing their thing. And let's cross over there and just see whether we can have a word with them and listen into what's going on.
John Karanja, I see you, my brother. Kelvin Sila pia nakuona pia pale. Kennedy Bwire nimekucheki katika mtandao wa Twitter nipatie #Maisha Concert Friday.
Captain Ridoti, Samson Comfort Zinga, Boniface Atanasi, uko ndani.
All right.
Tena zaidi.
Mwakideu.
Now we celebrate your birthday in a short while, msikilizaji. But right now, let's talk about money. Let's talk about airtime.
All right.
2,000 Kenya shillings worth of airtime from
Sijui
Safaricom.
kama Mwakideu na Nick wananisikia pale.
Ikiwa wewe tayari umeanza kutunukiwa, manake Safaricom anakuambia kila siku inakuwa ni siku njema. Na kama ungependa kutunukiwa na Safaricom,
All right, I'm waiting for him to take a
Bonyeza
pause.
*444# fuata maagizo na ujue that every day unaweza pata kutunukiwa.
every single day, every day, wanasema kila siku ni siku njema. Unatunukiwa namna gani? Unabonyeza *444# kama anavyosema Nico Dhiambo.
All right, and I guess we'll let them do their thing as they continue, but that's Radio Maisha right there. Our sister station will be crossing over to them and just find out what they have lined out for the show today and also just interact with them. I wanted to hear from them what they feel about the song because mainly radio is very music driven. And of course, I'm sure they have one or two things they would like to say about that. But that being as it may, we'll go back to that. So many Kenyans who have been suffering due to the high food prices have gotten relief after the government introduced subsidized maize flour on Wednesday. This has seen the price of unga go down from a high of 150 shillings for 2 kg packet to a low of 90 shillings. The low cost of maize flour on the label has made it possible after the government zero-rated the imported maize with 30,000 bags of projected 5 million having arrived from Mexico. So, Last week we were here and we were talking about how this amazing, needs to come here and become a very good. But it looks like now 90 shillings is working very much for Kenyans. Your thoughts on this one, though, despite the fact that it has made it very romantic for people.
Alejandro.
Really solo.
And of course, the memes have been doing their rounds as usual.
I love the memes. I love the memes. I think I only love the memes about this entire story because everything else, as it's developing, we are all feeling a little bit cheated here and there. But the memes makes us all laugh, and when we go and we buy the whatever, we come back and we are romantic, isn't it? I saw somebody. In fact, this one was like the best meme. Somebody came in as Omondi. And the Omondi was black like charcoal.
I saw that.
And
yes.
then on the other end, he is now Alejandro and he has a six-pack. And he is brown. I was like, okay, let me also go and buy it. Perhaps I'll come back and I'm now, I don't know. Ale what?
Alejandro.
So that's the only thing I can say about it. Not, I don't even want to delve into the intricates of what is going on, especially after yesterday when the CS was being grilled and said something different. But on the fun part of it, I think Kenyans are the best people to laugh at their problems.
And obviously the fact that Kenyans seem to always make a joke out of everything, regardless of how serious it is.
Yeah.
Again, this one being a matter of life and death for some when it comes to food. But somehow we just have an interesting way of getting out of it. But does this water down the seriousness of the issue? Eric, do you feel like sometimes we make jokes to a point where even our politicians now take it for granted and they're like, si Wakenya wanacheka?
Well, humor gets us by. As Odhiambo has said, it's a grave matter. You're actually joking with people's stomachs. Njaa. So I think how we get by traffic and inflated prices because of this and that is by making fun of it. And from our part, there's nothing wrong with that. From the government's part, this will become a political show. So, as Odhiambo said, humor has been the relief side of it, but the other side is completely depressing. We shouldn't be doing this with.
Although one of the things I've realized after this whole maize scandal has been going on, as much as we are saying, and it is a serious thing, it's not to remove anything from that, there are some regions who are saying, wait, this is not new. This is basically our lives. We've talked to leaders here, and they're like, wait, you guys are complaining that, you don't have maize. For us, we've never had maize. So what's the big deal? And of course, that paints another picture altogether.
Yeah, no, I remember just a few months, we had these very gory images of Kenyans who are actually starving. And for me, what really angers me or irks me is the fact that we have people who we have elected to be accountable for us in terms of providing systems and policies that can actually guard whichever aspect of life we talk about, be it nutrition, food, health, and all. So the funny thing is, the way the government is taking us around in circles with these theatrics and, one thing, the maize is 150, sugar is now almost 500 shillings. In fact, I had some Kenyans complaining, why ugali is not even the big deal. The biggest deal is sugar. You can't afford sugar. I was listening to somebody cracking a joke the other day that now the way he survives, he doesn't cook. He goes to the hotel because he goes with the flask. Tea is probably 10 shillings. So he buys 60 shillings. It's enough for his family. And he buys probably 3 mandazis. And that's done for breakfast. So he doesn't need to buy sugar for 500 shillings and buy ugali for 150 shillings to survive. So it's very interesting that we can laugh about our issues. But there are bigger problems. But the interesting bit is that these problems, they're not just about to end. We are yet to elect another bunch of, for lack of a better word, a bunch of clowns. Yes, it's going to happen again.
But now, who's the bigger clown here? Is it us or is it them? Because at the end of the day, we're the ones who put them there.
I think if you look at the matter and how grave it is, and especially look at the number of people who are queuing in supermarkets trying to buy, you just see how serious this issue has been. I must say that the people who've been satirizing this kind of dire needs that we've been complaining about is this middle class that does not vote, that is always on social media. They're the ones who are very active in
and they're very active to complain
coming up with names and stuff like that. But the grave issue is down there from the Mwananchi, who really knows that even an extra 10 shillings
makes a difference.
It makes a very big difference. So I think, and they're the ones who vote as well. So you must imagine the kind of pain they are in because they know they wake up very early, they go and vote hoping that they're going to get a better day tomorrow, and then it gets worse and deepens. So I mean, it's really sad that some comic relief is okay.
Yeah.
But I think instead of satirizing this whole issue so much, we should really look at this in keen interest.
Okay, Eric, you wanted to say something?
Well, I agree with Solo in part about this being a serious issue. We need to disabuse the notion that the people who do not vote should not make noise, or the people who make noise do not vote. That is actually not right. You know, citizen participatory in any platform, be it social media, on the streets, on casting your ballot, should be encouraged. And the government in power ought to serve everybody, the people who voted for it at 3 a.m. and those who might not have voted. You know, we are all Kenyans and we need to have our voices heard. So if somebody is unhappy and they're typing it on their computer, that is citizen participation and it should be encouraged. If somebody feels fit to go and hold a placard and yell, "Tumechoka!" that is also part of it. So we shouldn't say that because I'm watching in the sitting room doing this, that's bad.
No, but you see, it's one thing to complain about something. It's another thing altogether to complain and do something
about it.
I think what Solo is talking about is where we sit in our comfort zones and we'll complain and make noise. But when the rubber meets the road, when we need to make that decision,
we pull
off. We're not there. We're too busy.
Well,
or we don't want to go and get our hands dirty out there.
No, but that is not true. I don't know if we can actually say with certainty that somebody living in Runda did not go vote. It's an assumption.
They voted.
They voted. And
it's the numbers.
Look, no. They voted.
Vote ni moja.
They voted. Everybody votes.
Those are the same guys who lied to Peter Kenneth before.
Lakini probably policies zake ndio hazikunini.
Peter Kenneth was...
He had more votes than
No,
likes.
he was...
It's not true.
I'm
And
actually-
we need to demand from our government that just because I'm in Runda and I seem to be comfortable in my couch, if there's a displeasure I'm espousing, they need to respect that. Just the same way as somebody from Kibra or Mathare can burn tires because wamelala njaa siku 4 wanasikia kupiga nduru. So they'll do it in a very not so civilized manner. But me, when I type and say,
And you
this
hashtag
May
it, it's
scandal
still
is
okay.
pathetic, hashtag kill the CS. Sorry, I'm
Okay.
sorry. No, I didn't say that. I will withdraw that. Hashtag CS surely. Guy.
Yes, guy.
Who's your guy?
Yeah,
No,
but-
guy. God.
as in
All right, let me pause you right there because we want to cross over to Radio Maisha. I believe they're on a commercial break and hopefully now we are able to communicate. And Radio Maisha, for those of you that might not know, is our sister station, radio station, which has also got a new occupant. And if we can cross over there.
What will be playing on Amani
The
Mapita?
Pulse, the only way to get alive. Get it free every
All right, and there we have it.
All new standard
Nick
newspaper.
and Mwakideu.
Radio
Natusikia?
Maisha 102.
Tunawasikia.
Kunaendeleaje huko Radio Maisha? Naona ya kwamba mazi huko ni kujibamba kabisa.
Tumetulia sana. Tunajienjoy, tunajivinjari.
Sawa. Nick,
Inaitwa Maisha Concert Friday.
Yeah.
so what's the concept today? What's the concept that's running there today?
It's Maisha Concert Friday, so we bring the party to you in the traffic jam as we look forward to a night of fun. Tena kwa mpigo.
Sawa, Nick. Good to have you on board, Nick. Nini umetuletea mpya bana? Naona ya kwamba mazeni kama tuta move studio tukuja hapo bana. Mnajienjoy sana.
Tunajienjoy sana. Ile kitu tumeleta tu ni sauti nzuri, nyororo ya ku-entertain wasichana.
Atia kwenda tena wasichana.
Alex entertain wanaume, sijui kwa nini. Hiyo ndio department yake. Hiyo ndio HOD.
Mike wachana na huyu mtu.
Nick.
Na
Mwakideu, mimi naitwa Solo. Habari yenu?
Salama sana. Naona ndevu kala white.
Ni uzee buda, tulia. Sasa
unaka Awilo Longoma. Wana low budget one.
Karibu Standard Group. Naona ulikuja Standard Group unga ikashuka bei. Sianze kulala huku watu wapewe unga bure.
Niangalie mali ya kulala basi.
Talala studio.
Angalia ndege za limo tupamba nini asuko na baba ya leo. Awilo Longoma.
You are a winner, right? The whole thing. You want to say something?
Oh, yeah.
Mobali Nangai, huyu anaitwa Solo na Batu Bakongo wanasema ya kwamba sasa amekaa kama independent candidate ambaye anasimamia Nairobi. Unajua ya kwamba Sonko ako na watu wengi na tunaona ya kwamba yeye anaweza kuwa ako katika ile timu.
Chama ya mandevu. Hiyo ni chama ya mandevu. Huyo ndio representative na candidate. Well, Nick, I'm surprised you can speak in Swahili.
I'm
man.
also surprised, by the way.
Where is he? Nick?
He's somewhere. They're showing us somewhere.
I've been reading these Swahili papers we have here in the office. Akina game yetu. Every day.
Nimesikia
Na Taifa Leo.
nimesikia huko na tamthilia na riwaya na mambo kangaja huenda yakaja.
Changamoto kubwa hapa, inabidi tukanganye yaliyomo ili tumalizie sentence.
Tuchanganye yaliyomo na yasiyo kuwepo.
Mambo mraba huenda yakaja. Ay.
I think you guys are fantastic. Nick, really,
Yes.
we are so glad to see you. Alex, as usual, you're always making us really happy. And if Nick says he's making the ladies happy, we're happy. I'm happy personally. So,
Hi,
yeah.
Nick.
Hi, Nick. We're happy.
How are you? Karibu sana.
So you mean that you're not happy I'm here?
Hi, Alex.
That's the way I dress wanaume. Dress wanaume. Talk to the men, Alex. Talk to the men.
I'm here, guys. I've been here for 7 years.
I'm here, guys.
It's all right.
I've been here for 7 years.
We love you too.
Anyway, Radio Maisha,
Thank you,
asante
baby.
sana Mwakideu na Nick. Good to have you guys, and I'm sure you're having a good time, and hopefully we'll join you back again if we can, but continue doing the good work. Kitu mmesahau kutuambia ni frequency. Hebu ambieni wateja frequency, kwa sababu wale wanatoka Morning Express sasa hivi wakiingia kwa gari wanataka wa tune in, wasikie mambo inaendeleaje.
All right. Nairobi unaisikiliza katika 102.7. Hizo ni kilo pia za
Nico Diambo.
Nico Diambo is 102.7 kilograms. So Nairobi 102.7, Mombasa 105.1, sawa na Meru 105.1, Kericho 90.5, Eldoret 91.1, Webuye 95.9, Kisumu 105.3, Garissa 88.7, Malindi 106.3, Taita Taveta County 107.4, maeneo ya Ukambani Kitui 93.8, Kisii 91.3, Nakuru 104.5, Nyeri 105.7. The entire country is listening to the best station in the country, Radio Maisha 102.7. Pampigo!
Alex, kwani kuna exam leo ya frequencies umekram yote?
Hey, Mako.
Na huku niambia, unataka tu nifail.
Asante sana Mwakideu. That's definitely 7 years worth of working at Maisha, Radio Maisha, and he has them offered. And thank you very much, guys. But now coming back to Nairobi and coming back to what's happening, Mike Sonko on Wednesday picked a smart and stylish business expert, Polycarp Igathe, as his running mate in the August 8th gubernatorial election. Igathe, who is 44 years old, is currently managing director for Vivo Energy, a subsidiary of Shell International. The businessman is now as a running mate, and his deputy, who enjoys cordial relations with the private sector, is said to be the choice of President Uhuru Kenyatta and his deputy, William Ruto, due to the ability to attract massive international cooperation, due to his vast experience and also the knowledge of Kenya's business environment. But will they make a winning pair? So, there we have it. That is now the newest pair. And of course, on the Standard, we also have it as the main story. Let me start with you, Solo, because I saw pictures doing rounds somewhere. And you happen to be in the company of Nairobians who are seeking gubernatorial seats. Tell us.
Influential.
Influential, yes, influential people. I don't know whether that is why what advised the beard.
Let me first say that this one came as a shocker to many Nairobians, but no doubt that the probably incoming deputy governor is someone who has very good credentials, and even in the private sector they've talked about it. I had in a certain interview Dr. Chris Kirubi saying that he had even employed him for over 10 years as head of one of his companies. I know they had generated, and the company grew up to the stock exchange level. So I think Nairobians were asking, is Sonko going to be able to attract investors? Is he going to do this? But what more can I say? I think there you go. Anything else that the Nairobians wanted is probably
Seems to be
just
there.
what
Do
they've
you
been
think they
missing.
make a good team?
I
Because
think-
we have a typical, what I'd call typical politician, and then you have a technocrat, somebody who literally sits behind the desk, comes up with policies, comes up. You think they make a good team?
Mike Sonko has been on the record saying that he's been very good in politics, and sometimes he will have to employ other people who are good in business to, cater
take
out
care
for
of that.
some things, which is a good thing for delegation as a leader. So I think for him, then this one now completes the equation. It says, okay, I'm going to do the politics if need be. And if we need to really sit on in the boardroom and burn the midnight oil, then I have someone who can really represent me very
Who
well.
knows how the corporate sector
Yes,
works?
yes.
Yeah, maybe just to add on what Solo has said, a while back, Sonko was on the spotlight, and people were actually accusing him of not being corporate enough to be governor of Nairobi. But he took up the challenge and he said, you know what, I'm just going to be doing the running around, but I will hire the right people to do the corporate kind of stuff. So I'm not surprised that I'm not surprised by this choice, and I only hope that his deputy governor is not going. Deputy governors in the past, they've been branded as flower girls because they just say they are there to be seen and not heard. So their direct influence is not felt, and I hope this is going to be different. And I mean, it's the era of people choosing younger deputy governors, because even Miguna, I remember last week.
Yes, he
how-
also chose. Yeah, he's
how-
24 years
yeah, he
old.
was 24-year-old. Yes, and even what is
He had a few things to say about Polycarp as well, which I won't
yes.
repeat, but there you
So
go.
I'm
You
not.
can go to his
I'm
Twitter handle and see.
actually not surprised. Even what's the name of this gentleman? Mutudo. Yes, he also
As a
picked
young
a
person.
younger girl.
Oh, it
I
was
think
a young girl,
a
but
girl
she-
and
but
a
she
teacher.
refused
Eventually, she refused. 26-year-old.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Anyway,
Being wooed.
so there's definitely something good about younger people, and I hope that we are going to see a lot more politicians pulling a Sonko on us.
Okay.
Yeah.
On the Sonko matter, I plead the fifth.
You're silent.
It's funny you read my mind. I was not going to comment, but I just want to say this from the depth of my heart. I feel thoroughly frustrated with Nairobi, as everything is. I drove from Junction now to this place. There's a lot of litter. There's a lot of madness. I'm in so much pain as a resident of this great county. And I don't want to talk about who's been picked, who is going to replace
But isn't
what.
that the
I
part-
just pray, Mike, I just pray that God in heaven can give to somebody with sense to make things right.
But you
I am
see, he
tired.
has
We have
given
to
you the
vote.
ability,
To
Eric,
vote.
to have that in the power of your
I
vote.
feel
And that's why.
that's why I said I am hurt. I feel like there's a lot of power play and backdoor things and putting things together. It's really tiring. I just want things to work. So,
But you see,
I think that's-
they'll only work if we have the right leaders. They say that things rise and fall on leadership. So now, when you look at the terrain and the situation, and we discussed this earlier, in terms of when we look at our leaders in this country, is there one that you can actually say, this one is without reproach?
This is what I want somebody to tell me, and I was trying to, stay away from this. I want somebody to tell me why they want to do what they are being put forth to do. Why? Why is Kidero seeking re-election? For what purpose? Why is Uhuru seeking re-election? For what purpose?
And-
why is Igade the deputy
And
governor?
the
For
good
what
thing is that we
purpose?
have Polycarp Igade as one of our guests coming
Yeah, I
in
can
this
see
morning,
him.
and we are going. Oh, he's already here.
Yeah.
Okay, we're definitely going to be putting that question so he can hear that
So
question.
for what purpose? That's what I want to hear. Because I am tired of, we are team, I'm younger, I am bolder, I am taller.
I am browner.
What is the purpose? I am really frustrated. For real, I could start bursting out in tears now.
No, don't.
It's annoying.
We don't have the tissue here.
And it's good that also Sonko's wardrobe has changed. I told you guys, B2B.
Solo,
B2B change anga.
Solo, how is that going to
Solo
affect the
really-
price of fish?
Because people have actually.
Politics
Let me
is perception.
Let me tell you one thing, and this is what critics have been saying about Mike Sonko, that the way he dresses does not represent how he's going to, run the county and stuff like that. Anything that people asked for, he's almost giving them
He
now.
can be in rags for all we care,
I
for as long
know.
as he
You
can be able
understand?
to deliver
But
it. He just needs
what
to
we don't
convince,
want is
really.
a man who's always wearing a suit and a city which is in ruins. I think we need
Yesterday,
better.
Mike, I went to meet somebody at the Stanley, and I saw a government official who was in the corporate world, senior guy, having deep conversation and eating very sumptuous lunch, you know?
Sumptuous.
You know, big lunch, laughing his heart off. And it was just like, yo, and every time I see him on TV, he talks grandeur about, oh, you know, we are good, we are this. And guys are saying, it's painful. We are going through this and that and the other. So what will not cut it for me is it's simply somebody from the corporate world. I am not going to buy that. Or simply somebody donning a suit. Or simply somebody in specs who's a pharmacist.
So what is it that is going to make you feel as a Kenyan convinced that this person has the right mandate to lead?
Genuineness of spirit. Genuineness
How
of
do you gauge
spirit.
that? How do you weigh that?
By how they are relating with you. Mtu na sera zake, si ndio?
But then,
Sasa wauze sera,
we
sio lakini
cannot-
hivi.
we cannot
Sasa wauze
judge.
hizo sera
We
basi.
cannot judge Igathe or Sonko
No,
for
we
that
cannot
matter
yet.
because we haven't seen what the duo
Well,
can
they-
do.
no, but they say the best way to predict the future is to look at the past. You have a
They
track
also
record.
say-
But
They
then now, if we had
You
to
have a
look at
track
the
record
past,
for Polycarp Igathe and what he has done.
Yes, we
No,
do.
but that attracting thing, who has attracted him? Okay, the thing is this. They say you'll be up there who you are down here. Can we look at their past stories? Can we see what somebody has
I think
done?
they're there
When somebody
in black
puts
and
on a
white.
suit quickly and says, oh, you know, mimi niko hivi na
Sasa
hivi.
nimetoa rags.
Can we come up and say, okay, when you are here, you did this. When you're running this company, you did this. So if you're going to judge on your past credentials, chances are you're not very fit for the future. You'll be up there who you are down here.
And
I think for track record, if I say this one very, very fast, both of them from the corporate world and from Jamaa Mtaani, they have a good track record. Let me just say
let
that.
me ask you, Sonko has been senator for the past 5 years.
Yes.
Yes. So
What's his thing?
what's his...
Let us talk about when he was a member of parliament
What
and
was
how
his
many people
thing
he's
then?
helped. Let us talk about Sonko rescue team.
When you are
Let
a
us
member
talk
of
about.
parliament, you
Let us
do-
let
you are
us
a
talk about.
legislator.
Let us
You're
talk
not
about the
supposed to
doctor.
help people.
Let us talk
You
about the doctor
legislate
strike.
laws.
Let us talk about his medical camp.
Let's
Let
look
us
at the
talk
laws
about
of
when
Kenya.
he's
You legislate
distributing
laws, you
water
do not help people, Ghana.
in the.
Anyway,
So long have you been paid.
I'm giving you a track.
No.
However,
I'm giving the track
to
record.
create
I think
parallel.
those are not.
But it's
Government.
creating parallel
Those are-
governments and
that is
Sonko
someone
rescue
who
team.
is
Solo,
helping the
Sonko
society.
rescue team and whatever,
And see what
whatever
other
else is
things-
there
Anyway,
is
Mike,
helping
please,
a
let's move on.
selected few.
Okay.
Because
What
Ghana
is it
will
doing
come
for
and
the
say
people
why
of
they are a
Kenya?
good
Yeah.
pair.
Well,
and
yeah,
look at
Igathe
what
will
he's
tell
doing
us
in
why they're a
sports.
good pair and what plans they have. So I'll ask
For
you to
Nairobi
listen in.
people,
for
not
Nairobi.
100 people or 50 people or 10 people. For Nairobi
every-
people,
yes.
to everybody.
How
Yes.
can Sonko solve my traffic problems by building a
rescuing
parallel road?
No.
That's why we have Igathe here to tell us what plan they have. And wow. Okay, let's move on to something else, just like you've said. And celebrated Nigerian singer Wizkid has promised to give another concert right here in Nairobi, not in Kenya, but had his concert cancelled. And well, Wizkid was in Uganda, and your thoughts on what happened
I think I was
and his plea.
Yes.
Joy Doreen sent us that in the group, if you remember, and then I just shared it in my forums. And, Vanange, my friends, the moment you're thinking you're like the biggest star and somebody tells you, it's for free, it's all right, carry your own crowd, we don't care, we moved on. That was zero chills.
Reminds
No,
me
I don't
of,
think it's zero chills.
Reminds me of Kofi Olomide. Yes, and the fiasco. Oh, you. Sometimes I think as artists, we actually we take our fans for granted. Yes, and I don't think it's a good thing at all. So for Wizkid to think that you can just call off your concert and then show up and say, guys, let's forget about that, and I'm here now, and I'm going to give you a new show. Really, in this day and age, when you have so many, to choose from.
In fact, his songs, which one is even a hit
But
now.
you also have to look at the entertainment industry in Uganda. It's quite dynamic because they support their own artists very, very well.
Exactly,
The artists are very, very big. They hold major concerts even in the stadiums. They also bring in a lot of international artists, especially from probably even the Caribbean, if I say that. So probably even for Uganda, he wasn't all that. So for him to say, I'll come and give you a free show, they're like, okay, we gave up on you. Just come up with your own crowd as well.
Some Kenyans would go
So no,
very.
it's very nice that you've said that. Ugandans, I was told when I was in Uganda that when Chameleon is releasing an album, the government advised that he does it in 2 days. So anafanya Friday and Saturday. The reason being, there's always a stampede. So instead of having 6,000 people in the stadium, they have 30,000.
Yes.
That's how big they
That's
are.
huge support.
Yeah.
Yes, and the other thing artists need to know, local artists and Kina Wizkid, your talent is God-given. The fame is fan-given. So you have to treat them with respect.
Hey, wise words right there. And there's something you talked about, character and, talent.
Yes, and that is another thing. There's a Nigerian who came here and was abusing everybody. A character can take you, a talent can't keep you. So you need to espouse good character, even more than talent. Wanjiru died because he lacked character.
Absolutely. And maybe just while we're still on that, the question here being the fact that why do you think Ugandans support their artists that much? And Kenyans somehow, fine, we support, but I don't think it's as big as you'd have it in Uganda.
This is my thinking.
We seem to support foreigners more than we support our own.
This is my thinking very quickly. In Uganda, you could get food for 50 shillings. You could get food for 500 and 1,000 shillings. In Bulobi, accommodation is as cheap as they come. My friend Salvador came to a house I was staying in 2 years ago in Kileleshwa, and I showed him the slip for how much I was paying for rent.
Yeah.
He said, this is crazy. This is a, lack of a better word, shithole. Can I say that on TV? He said, I live in a weird place. When I went to his house in Bugolobi, he lives like a king. So what Uganda has done, food is very, very, very affordable, inexpensive. Transport from Bugolobi to Nana or Nante or whatever it's called is 5 shillings, Kenyan equivalents, okay? So you eat inexpensively, you live very well, and you travel cheaply. And if you like alcohol, beer is from 10 shillings, 20, 30, depending on your denomination. Why wouldn't you go support an artist? Sasa hapa Kenya, uko na unga, imefika 189. Haya, kutoka town mpaka Lang'ata na matatu ni 80 shillings. Utaenda kuona Sauti Sol na 1,000.
And you may love them genuinely, actually.
But huwezi enda utatafuta video watch.
So what do you do? That aside, I must also say that they also appreciate and they have created their own identity. They've gone down to their roots. They sing also they have their own genre. Here we are still struggling with accents. We are still not knowing what beat to really follow. We are still getting excited about performing with a live band. There are a few things that we are not really supporting the way it's supposed to be. Artists in Uganda are also very humble. Kenyans, once they hit a certain number of hits, even going to Uganda, they're demanding for everything. You understand? So what happens here is now the cost of living, like Eric has just translated it, makes us become even arrogant when it comes to entertainers. They say, you sing and let's get done over with this. Otherwise, we are going to wait for someone else we've been watching on YouTube.
And the other thing, guys, well, apart from the fact that our artists are suffering from identity crisis, we don't know whether we want to do kapuka, we want to do bongo, we want to do, Nigerian beat. Apart from that, one thing we also have to acknowledge is the fact that our music, in terms of quality, in terms of composition, you wouldn't compare it with anything we have down here. Currently, Uganda, TZ have taken off. We can't catch up. Yes, so...
and what's the problem? It's not that we lack creativity. It's not that we lack brains. So what is the issue?
I don't know.
And maybe I'll pose that question to Gillard when he comes in and basically give us his feeling of what's happening. But let's finish off with 17th of May. Was not too long ago.
It was 2
and
days ago.
Finally, Stella came back yet again.
Stella is back.
Don't you just love Kenyan humor?
Yeah.
Who actually comes and remembers that Stella alienda Japan na alirudi jana?
25 years
This is
ago.
what I have to tell you. In fact, while you're still staying on that topic of music, if you were actually to put 20 top songs in Kenya that actually made or changed perception on anything, you are not going to find any of those in this current current musicians that we actually have. And that tells you something. If somebody can remember Stella, and Stella, and he was interviewed by BBC and he said Stella alikuwa mtu halisi. Yeah. Alikuwa
That's a
actually
true story, yeah.
yes, yeah, and
Did you say halisi?
Yes. Yeah.
Mtu halisi dhabiti.
Ati halisi kama ni halisi. Mexico kama Mexico.
You're surprising us today.
Because somebody who was actually there, and that song, it's fantastic in all levels, in lyrically, and just even how he sang it, beautiful. And I met Freshly Mwamburi more than about 4 times, and I've had interviews with him. Every time when I asked him, he used to be cagey about whether it was true. I'm so glad now he's said to him.
It's finally true and it's out.
Natoka kidogo kwa lugha ya Kiswahili.
Kiswahili halisi.
Kiswahili kitukuzwe. Mimi kama Mkenya ambaye anapenda sana na nadhamini nyimbo kama hizo za Stella, nataka kuashiria Wakenya ambao wanaimba katika kizazi cha kisasa. Wajitahidi tena kwa makini ili waweze kufikiria nyimbo ambazo zitakaa jadi mwaka wa sasa na ambazo mwaka zinazokuja. Asante sana.
Thank you.
Vile Eric amesema. Guys, we'll have to wind up more topics right there. But just to highlight what we have on the Pulse and the Nairobian. And we have on the Pulse, Morning Millie, and well, I don't know what's, let me see what we have, the main topics right there in the Pulse. We have Charity, Moses Kuria, and I.
Yes.
That should make a good read.
This is a former beauty queen, you know, and she hails from Kiambu Gatundu. And
Is she the one who was saying that Moses Kuria is actually quite
Sweet.
a nice guy?
a nice guy behind the scenes. So now she comes and spills beans about their relationship, if there's any relationship, and how she even visited the State House under the invite of the president through the connection with Moses Kuria. So, yes.
So apparently he is a nice guy.
It looks like
Depends on what nice means.
Another very
Definition
interesting
of
story.
nice.
Another very interesting story is the big deal, and this is about the celebrity kids from our now Imagine Celebrities couples, and how they're minting millions, you know, from social media and also advertisement. So look at that also for endorsements. Now, like what we just had from Radio Maisha on
And this is on the Pulse,
2.7.
page 10.
Yes, the cover story. We're talking about the battle over breakfast. And we're looking at, you know, all these breakfast shows and how they've
Where
been...
is Adele?
The competition has been really, really...
Where is Adele in that picture? In that
Gender
story?
imbalance.
Excuse
in
me.
that entire-
She's behind the scenes.
Where is Adele?
She's behind the scenes. Yeah, but also read that. That's a very, very interesting read about the fierce radio competition, the breakfast
In the
show
morning, yes,
that
and
has emerged, because the monotony has, let's say, has been killed as of now.
There's variety.
There's variety
right now on
okay,
the morning
then you can read also in the gossip pages. We have 2 pages of that. And of course, you can get the real details about what was happening to Wizkid in Uganda, what we just talked about right here. There's also MC Jesse and rumors about him having been in a marriage union before. And he says, which divorce? Also read about that one. Very, very
So
interesting.
he's not divorced, he's just adding.
Well, he has the right to reply.
He has the right of reply,
Get
isn't it?
yourself a copy of the Pulse and find out what he has to say. Then let's move on to the Nairobian, where we have the headline as Tycoon conned me 200 million shillings, and that's according to a widow.
Yes. Yeah, maybe before we even talk about that story, our readers need to know that we are paying free fare, Sare, in Nairobi, so you need to be on the lookout for the Nairobian today. We are in Uthiru Westlands, Upper Hill, and where is that again? Rongai.
We have to have a
No. We want readers to interact with the copy comfortably. So be on the lookout. You get a free matatu ride, and you get a copy of the Nairobian, and read all the way home to your destination. Yes. Yes. Within Nairobi, but you be on the lookout. We'll be coming to counties,
Sasa
and
Eric anaweza enda
Eric, now you don't have to get stuck. Unaweza enda concert. Ukisoma
Naenda na
Nairobian.
manga leo na matatu za free. Inarudisha mtu.
You could
Sai
be
na
lucky.
manga.
You could be lucky. Vitu za bure. So, yeah, of course, the big story is about the tycoon who is Eldoret politician. It's called
Buzeki.
Buzeki. Yeah, Uasin Gishu is called Buzeki. Yes, and
aliibiwa 200 million.
a widow.
Sasa itabidi usome Nairobi ukienda na manga
ndio ujue hiyo story vizuri.
Bottom line is there's 200 million shillings that's missing from somebody's account.
200 unahesabu 199 million 98 unafika 108 unasema 200 alafu unatoa 92.
Well, also interesting is Vera Sidika and what is happening to her body, and she's not too happy about a few additions she had made.
So she can just go and make
and she actually regrets. What surprises me the most is the fact that she's advising young women. Vera Sidika is actually giving tips. Yes,
happens in life.
Yes, hashtag self-love and all.
They say experience is not the best teacher. You are somebody who's experienced.
And of course, we have so
all right,
much.
I'll have to cut you short there. And I know there's a lot, especially now that it's going to be given out free on some rights and people are going to read it.
Yes.
They'll get time to do that. So please do get yourself a copy of the Nairobian and the Pulse. This is where we'll have to wind up. Hot topics for those of us on the home channel. We say goodbye, and it's time for Life and Style. For those of us on KTN News, do stand by. We've got some news updates coming up. And also remember, we'll be talking to Governor Sonko, or Governor aspirant Sonko's running mate, and that is Polycarp Iga. Then find out what plan he has for Nairobi. We'll give you an opportunity to ask him the questions. And, well, is he the man to watch for Nairobi as Deputy Governor? That's all coming up right here on KTN News. So we'll take a break. We'll be right back.